missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I'm doing a creative color transformation and we are going to be lightening up her roots and then kind of doing a color combo that is going to help cancel out the green in her hair. She's wanting to do like a purple to kind of like a orange melt, and we're gonna melt the two colors with like a light pastel pink, and hopefully that covers the green that's in her hair. This is just her hair and how it's faded from the last color we did. So this particular client, she usually waits about this long in between her appointments, so her roots get really long, and I touch it up in foils. We don't do a solid application only because she doesn't come in close enough in between her appointments, so I opted to do more foil technique that is going to give her a full color feel. Even though we are doing them in foils, everything's going to look pretty solid once we're done with it. And you can see based off of just looking at her ends that her hair does pretty much look solid all over with this foiling technique. So I did about 2 foils around the hairline to kind of detail that part, and now I'm just going in with a center section in the back, and I'm going to be just pretty much doing slices throughout this whole application. And my slices here are going to be pretty close together because again, I don't want her to feel dimensional at all. Pretty much we want to do something that is going to make her feel super solid, as if we were doing a full bleach out. So I am making my sections pretty close together and then just feathering over the line of demarcation so that we don't overlap or anything like that. So today I am using the Blonde Me Schwarzkopf lightener, and I mixed a bowl of 6 volume and 20 volume equal parts, and then after that first initial bowl I just used 20 volume for the rest of the head, and this is just going to give her a really nice clean lift. I feel like this developer and volume is perfect for her hair type and texture, and it's just my go-to combo whenever I do a full head of foils. So as I'm going through her hair as well, I am trying to actively pick out a lot of the slices that have the longest amount of regrowth. So you can see by that foil, the foil is a little bit longer, and I'm just going in and just trying to actively pick those out so that we can get her ends nice and solid. I feel like doing it this way opposed to just picking up any random slice, I'm able to keep her ends nice and solid, and she is able to feel not as dimensional even though she waits quite a bit of time in between her appointments. So whenever I'm doing this technique and I'm slicing the hair, I do want to make sure that my slices are nice and see-through, because this is going to ensure that you're going to get the cleanest lift. And by that, what I mean is if I were to take a section that is a little bit thicker, sometimes the lift can be a little uneven, or some parts might not lighten the same as other parts. So I want to make sure that I make a thin enough slice to be able to see that. And then the other reason why I like to make sure that I take a thin enough slice is so that I can really make sure that I'm not overlapping onto any previous areas that have been highlighted already. I feel like if I take a slice that is too thick, sometimes it's harder for me to detail and not paint over areas that have already been highlighted. So I just like to take really clean sections so that I can find the areas that need to be highlighted versus what was already highlighted last time. So now that I'm working in the front here, I am just taking slices to detail her front area, but since this is going to be like her money piece section, I'm doing the slices back to back solid. and I don't leave any negative space in between these slices. I do probably about maybe like 4 of the slices that are back to back before I start incorporating some dimension like I did in the back sections. And then again, I'm just going to be slicing the hairline, so making sure that I take a really thin slice and carefully paint only in the areas where the dark is and the regrowth is. And then for the sides here, I'm doing about 4 slices before I connect the side section from the front and the back. And the reason why I do 4 slices is, again, I want to make sure that she feels nice and solid around her face, and everything grows out nice and bright for her. So now I'm taking that section above the ear and connecting the front and the back, and I do a weave on that one just because I don't want any harsh lines when this grows out around the hairline. And I did a weave in the back as well too, around like those first 2 foils around the nape and the neck. And again, I just like to do weave on those sections specifically because I want those to grow out really soft compared to the rest. I don't like to see the lines there if I were to do a slice. And then now I'm just going to continue my slicing pattern up the sides, and again trying to actively pick out the sections that have like a longer piece of regrowth, like there is that piece right there. I want to make sure that I'm picking out any previous highlights and then just being really careful not to overlap. And then even though we are doing like a full head of foils, I would say that this application probably takes me about like 45 minutes to do everything. The reason why it's so quick for me is because I feel like I do the same sectioning every time for her, and so I know exactly what to pick up and I'm not weaving. I feel like slicing saves me a lot of time, and then also breaking up the back head section into basically one section and connecting that from the back to the front top, and then connecting the front and back with one section on each side makes it super fast and easy. And honestly, this placement is super versatile. You can use it in so many different ways for different looks. This is just how I would do this specific placement if I wanted a more solid look, but you can check out my other videos if you're looking to do something more dimensional and not so solid. So this is what her hair looked like right after we washed off her foils and blow dried her. So this is how she lifted her raw lift. We did not pre-tone her or anything like that. And so right now I'm going to be going in with her creative color tone. You can kind of see her inspo picture right there as she's holding it in her phone. So her root color, I'm using the Danger Jones semi-permanent, and I mixed up a purple. This purple was actually really pretty. I did a mixture of the Danger Jones Libertine, we did some clear, I added in some Vertigo and then some Lovesick to kind of give it a brighter effect. And then for the light pink that I'm putting on her mids, we did Cheap Date and Clear. And I'm just going in after I had rooted that purple and just kind of melting in and kind of placing in that mid-tone before we apply the brighter orange tone on the ends. I really love the feel of these semi-permanents. I feel like it has like a very soft application. It's like easy to go through the hair. It doesn't like harden too much, and I feel like it blends really well into the other colors, but not in a way that it would bleed into the other colors. It just blends well. And the other thing I like is the smell of the hair color too. I feel like the smell, it kind of lingers in the hair even after you've washed it out and stuff, and I feel like it smells really good as well too. And now I'm going in with Burnout, which is their bright orange from the color line, and I feel like this orange was perfect for this melt. And since her ends are a little bit on the green side, it is going to kind of mute out the orange a little bit, even though we used such a bright tone. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I really love the way that this turned out. I feel like the colors blend so perfectly, and all of the green in her hair is pretty much gone. I feel like since we started with green, the colors did look a little bit more muted than when I mixed them in the bowl, but I was really happy with the way everything canceled out, and it just is going to fade out really pretty, and she'll be ready for a whole new color next time. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.